Welcome back to Steadfast Strength, the Mom Fitness Podcast. I'm Kelsey Wolf, and today I have my friend, a mentor, Becky Smith. And Becky Smith is a therapist here in the Omaha area. Becky, you just want to say hi?
Hey! I watched, I'm a fan. I can't believe I'm here. Oh my gosh, Kelsey is a legend.
Oh, please. I can't believe I had Becky Smith in the room. Becky Smith is a legend, and everyone who hears of her wants to be her friend.
Oh my gosh, whatever. Yeah,
it's true.
that's nice. Anyway, yeah.
So Becky, we have Becky's expertise here talking about mental health, particularly as it relates to moms, busy women, fitness, and then we're going to kind of dive into personal growth, personal development a little bit, because that's an area that we both share, that we're passionate about. So.
It's a beautiful life.
So, Becky, first, I didn't warn you about this, but tell us just like who you are and who you're married to, what your family's like.
Sweet.
Just a little background. Yeah.
Cool. Yes. Hey, I am Becky, and I have 4 kids, and we're like in our first year of empty nesting. Like Carter, I'll start with the youngest. That never happens, right? Carter is 19. And then I have a 21-year-old, and she lives in Norway, which is crazy. And she loves it. She's a missionary and with YWAM. Maybe I'm sharing too much information.
No, go for it.
About whatever. And then I have a son here in Omaha, not here in Arlington, but in Omaha. See?
Yeah.
You might have to pause that and edit.
No, it's great. You're doing awesome. Keep going.
Yeah. Then Ethan lives here in Omaha, and I have a grandchild who is absolutely amazing and like almost 2. And then he's married to Hannah, and a son who's the oldest, and he's in the military, and he's in the Air Force. Right now lives in San Antonio, and he's married to the amazing Megan, and did I say Ethan is married to the amazing Hannah?
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've gained a couple daughters through marriage. Yes.
So
and you yourself are also married?
I'm married. Yes. Oh, yeah. And then I'm married. We've been married this will be 28 years. And I think that's actually 29. Yeah, this year will be 29. And then his name's Eric. And he is an executive coach. He does a bunch of different things, and he's has a PhD in Old Testament, dead languages, and loves the Old Testament. He used to teach that as a professor, and
anyone who's heard him teach or preach,
he's
their
good.
lives are changed by hearing him.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
he's
true.
Pretty great at teaching, and yes, he loves that. But so it's a very, we've led kind of a not your usual like, let's go to this route. We've joked about like our kids, if they say, hey, we're gonna major in slam poetry and be a magician on the street corner, we're gonna have to say, sounds great. I think you're gonna do great in that.
Because you feel like that's kind of been your life?
Yeah,
just doing random things?
Yes, like we have journeyed to figure it all out. So.
Which I feel like is another podcast in and of itself, like
right. Yeah.
Following God to who knows where.
Yeah. Trying.
Yeah.
there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And following God, absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm tempted to go there and like let you tell us your whole story,
Oh
but
gosh, that would be therapy. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
okay, so how'd you get into therapy? How
Well,
about that?
yeah, actually, kind of the short version is that thought, I think helping is a thing that I really like, helping kind of as a profession. And so I looked into nursing. And then I thought about, like, as I was doing a couple of classes in nursing, that, well, first, I'm not great at science and math. That's a big part of it. And I also thought about like going room to room and how it would be sad to not get to talk to the people, to the
Yeah.
patients or whatever. And then I was like, wait, I think that's a job.
Yeah, like actually talking to them.
I could talk to them for a living.
Yeah.
So that was when I started, I made the switch of getting, that kind of education. And right when I started, I was like, oh, my people.
Yeah.
I met them. It was good.
Where
fit.
were you in your journey as a mom at that point?
I was, let's see, gosh.
Like were the kids little or were they in school?
The kids were little.
Okay.
So, yeah. I was, I think we were all in, that's right. Carter, our youngest, went to kindergarten, and that's when I kind of started to, get more involved in finding my route.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason that I thought like, wow, we have this wonderful resource, Becky, at our available to talk to us is because like we've talked a lot about self-care and training and fitness here on the Steadfast Strength podcast, but we cannot neglect the fact that mental health is a huge part of this wellness sphere, and so many of us are treading water, trying to keep our heads above water with it. So so anyhow, I thought it was important for us to talk about that. And so
great.
Becky's here to talk about it. So do you see that? Like is
Mental health. Yeah.
like for
Yes.
moms and busy women, like what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, man, like so much, seeing so much.
So you're not alone
You are
if you
so
feel
not
like
alone. There's a group for everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
so true. But it does take, it takes something to find your people, if that makes sense. Like I've talked about that a lot with moms. Like, I remember way back I had, a conversation about just I think she had gone and gotten her PhD. There was something. Anyway, we just talked about how important it is to stay in the posture of like, I need this. I need fellowship.
like community specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
And because it's like a lot of times we can be like, it's fine. I'm good. And it's great to stay in a place where you're like, no, I need to connect with other moms. This is how I survived personally as a mother.
Like having people around you that were going through it too?
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably one of the things I miss the most of being an empty nester now. Like all the kids and the kids' friends and the kids' my friends, the kids' moms.
Yeah, like their friends as mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah, I knew where you're going.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
like that community.
It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so finding community.
yeah, super important.
Okay.
I would say another thing that I notice as, moms is how like when you find a person, there's this dating aspect kind of like you
Is
have
this among friends or with a therapist specifically? Or
sorry, with your mom friends.
both? Okay, yeah.
So talking like mom to mom, it's like, hey, I found this group of people, and then you kind of get into that mindset of like, do I like her? Should I hang out with her? Do we like the same things? And so you kind of have to also, once you put yourself out there to try, then it's like you have to stay in there and
Yeah.
keep trying to
Until you find the right ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's a whole process too, I
Yeah.
think.
And
So,
why is that so important?
I mean, like I'm challenged by you. Like to understand the world the way Kelsey sees it is like sweet. I never thought of it that way, you know? And
Yeah. And so each person has their
yes.
own way of that.
Yeah. And I think the part of, you know, when we can survive together as mothers, that's the most fun anyway, I think. So
Okay, so I'm going to take a step back.
yeah.
For like women who are listening, who maybe feel overwhelmed or like insecure, like I don't know how to raise my kids, or like just feel like they can't handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, or whatever that phrase that repeats in their mind is. Like when is it time to seek out therapy?
I think functionality is a big deal. So that's one of the things when you notice, wow, this is affecting my functionality, my day-to-day basic functionality.
Like ability to do the things you need to do.
Yes, like man, can't get out of bed. That's a big one, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe you still are, you're doing it, but you're like, there is a load on my back.
Yeah.
Or man, I keep taking a break when I'm not taking a break is one that I say a lot. Like this is gross, but like if you're on the toilet and you're like, you know, this is when I'm taking, you know, an hour and you're like maybe just doom scrolling or something, right? So you're taking a break without taking a break. Maybe you're taking a vacation without taking a vacation, right? Like you're just noticing, wow, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm just avoiding and I can't really even name what those things are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good time, you know,
Okay.
like to just talk to somebody. And I loved back in the day, somebody told me it was like changing the oil in the car, right? Like you're helping the oil so that later in life it won't be a major or a more major thing.
Yeah.
you know?
Like so it doesn't wreck the whole engine.
Yeah.
Like it's more of a
Yes.
maintenance thing than like
Yes.
we have a problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The maintenance thing, this body is for sustainability for the lifetime. And, you know, like there are certain times of life and maybe things that have happened in life that require more words, you know? And like we have to acknowledge, like, I've got 5,000 words about how I'm doing, but what people usually, a mom friend that I'm meeting at the park has time for is maybe like 100 words.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not 5,000, you know?
Right.
So another great indicator, like, wow, I'm really taking over a lot of friend time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. I feel like there's a lot of times where I'm around other women and I saw a reel the other day on Instagram that was like, how are you? She was like, not good. How are you? Not good. Okay, we'll talk about this again. You know, and it's like, because like things are just happening to me, you know, and it's
yes. It's so hard. Yes. And I mean, I'm saying all this, like, please hear that none of us as therapists are like, just so you know, we have it all together. Like,
yeah.
not even close. So,
Yeah.
like, I say this as a client of someone myself, you know,
Yeah.
the therapist, you know, and thank goodness for her.
Yeah.
I've joked about putting a picture of her and this other guy that was a therapist in her life to like put a candle. Thank you.
Like a little
Thank you
shrine in
too.
your home.
Yes. Yes. Thank you
That's
so
awesome.
much. Yeah, but yeah, it's not like I have it all together, but in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's just this is some of the stuff that I've learned, I think, over the years. Is
Yeah.
like I mean, even at this age, I'm still figuring out how to keep up with my people that I love. It's different, man. When the kids leave, it's so different. So lots of stages of a mom's heart and life and seasons of
All that.
All
and
that.
having like a therapist to process it through
yes,
with is
yeah.
like maintenance for a healthy heart.
I think so. You know,
Okay.
especially I've used her way more during seasons of time when, like when the kids were getting ready to move out and stuff. Because I had them. Oh yeah, they're all so close together in age. Like I had 4 kids in 6 years, basically. That was, gee.
Crazy.
Yes. Oh
Wow.
my goodness. So yeah, in school we had 3 in a row, so 3 grades in a row, and then our youngest was two more years. So we all joke about how the different life he lived
Yeah.
compared to the
The first
three.
three.
Yeah. Sorry guys, if you ever see this.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna send it to them.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna,
should.
yeah.
One of my mom friends says, like, she tells her kids, like, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm learning how to be a mom. And I love that line. Like,
Yes.
I've never done this before. I
Yes.
don't know what I'm doing.
Yes,
Yeah.
we all have never done it before. We've done it with our kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's hard.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My mind is spinning. There's a lot. So, when in your experience meeting with moms,
Yeah.
so like encouraging them to find community and like their crew, what are a couple other like big hitters? Like
Yeah.
these are the things I'm often encouraging
Of them,
women
yes.
to do to help with
Yeah.
their mental health.
Oh, it's good. So yes, and this is why I think what you're doing is so great. When we've had conversations about the holistic point of view, like I talk about breathing a lot. I always say, like mental health is just a series of very, very small choices. Like we're talking, gee, did I do my breathing that takes like 2 minutes, No, I did not. Okay, well, I'm going to do that now.
Yeah.
Did I do my stretches that really help the stress that I feel in my body? Well, no, I didn't. Does that take like 5 minutes? Does it make it so that's like, whoa, now I'm better, right?
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't. But does it feel a little bit better maybe? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so we're breathing, we're stretching. I think stretching is great, so like looking up yoga moves are just great. But also, right, like we talk about there's head first stuff, mind first, and then there's body first. So like when it's like, I can't right now with this, like I go with, well, let's do some body first stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, I have just bought 8 pounds instead of 6-pound weights.
Woohoo!
Thank you. I'm trying to work. I would love for giant arms. I would love for I'm not giant. They're just great looking arms.
Hey, thank you.
Love your arms.
Thank you.
Should we show? No. Yeah.
Summer's coming.
That's right. Would love that.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, I'm trying to do, it's just little stuff, right? So like little things, and I was saying body first. Oh yeah. So body first stuff. And does that kind of help clear my head sometimes? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And then, talking through if I'm hanging in the world of body first stuff only, right? And I can tell there's maybe some words building up because maybe I'm going through a transition in life. Maybe, meaning like my kids are starting to go to school, or my kids are becoming teenagers, or, my kid's starting to drive, or they're starting to date, maybe there's just extra words available to me about how I feel about that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
No, that's really good. I feel like, the gym and running for me, but running especially, I'm an introvert. I like my alone time, and I don't get very much of it. Yeah. But I love running because it gives me a chance to process my thoughts. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm working hard at something, so I'm not over analyzing, overthinking things. The thoughts just flow because I don't have the, I don't know, the energy to really, I don't know, filter them.
Yeah.
So it's just raw.
Yes.
Everything's coming out.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have a doctor friend that said, if he doesn't run, he doesn't have a job. That's it is that, together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is because it's so stressful.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Yeah. He needs it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other big hitters for moms? So the movement, breathing. Oh, I know what I was going to say while you think about that.
Yeah.
We recently were in a therapy session, Andy and I, and our daughter. And to be completely honest, I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted I wanted the same thing out of therapy that most people want out of training.
Sure.
A quick, easy, magical thing. Like
Yeah.
when people train, they want a magical program that's going to make them fit like that, or when people reach out to nutrition coach and it's like, here are the basics. You got to do the basics, or like therapy, like, are you breathing?
Sure.
Are you sleeping? Like I probably should do those things. Yeah, that would probably help my mental health, but I'm not doing them,
Right.
like, oh, you don't have a magic pill to make everything better,
I
Yeah,
wish. Yes.
like it's all of these components of wellness
Yes.
seem to take
Forever.
like the basics. Yeah, and forever. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can't just skip to
Yeah.
the top of the pyramid. Like you have to build it.
Sure.
You have to build it habit by habit
Yes. Oh,
to get the
man.
results that you want.
Yeah.
And
that's
having a
great.
coach, a therapist, a guide to like help you stay accountable and
Yeah. Yes. I mean, and I would say too, you're so right in that there's not really a quick fix. I would say sometimes, certain times of life, it's like to have the therapist and do it in a place where you're like, I think I just need, maybe, 4 sessions, every week this month. I really need to process this thing. So sometimes you can do this, but if you're at a point where you've never really self-reflected or you've never really thought through, well, how do I feel about this?
yeah.
Feel, if that's something if that's new to you, like, I don't put words to feelings very often. I think it's a waste of time, totally legit. In fact, that was me for a while when I was a kid. Like I remember thinking that. So,
Yeah.
Why drum up the stuff from, and please hear me that going to therapy does not mean like talking through a bunch of stuff from the past. Like you do not even have to go there,
Right.
like this is very you centered and the pace is always up to you. So,
But if someone's never had that experience or been able to put words to emotion, are you saying that there might be a little bit more than just like a quick touch base point?
yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Back
Yeah.
to that point. Yes. So, yes, it takes a while. It's a long process to get to know how to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And then just do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not like the first meeting you're going to leave like,
Yeah. So much
great.
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, cause you probably have to develop a relationship with the person too.
Yeah.
And
Yes, and that was the other
Yeah.
good point to talk about is like a lot of times people talk about how they just didn't have maybe chemistry with their therapist. They meet with somebody and they're like, it was not great. I remember one of the first times I met with a therapist was when I think I had 2 kids at the time, and they were little. We lived in Chicago, and there was this therapist, great gal, but she didn't have kids, and we were there and going to school. We were living with my parents at the time, and that was a lot. And so like my parents are awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, it was just a lot. And
Yeah.
so just I needed to find someone that could relate to that kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So and anyway, my point, like it took times of finding your person, and like I would say finding somebody that you can like gut laugh with because it's super funny what happened, and like this is your therapist, and like I'm not saying this is a friend at all, but I am saying, man, find somebody who you can have good chemistry with,
Yeah.
and joke about, and if you just feel that ability to build a relationship with them. So
Cool. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, are there any other like big hitter things that you would say? I see this all the time in moms, and this is what I say.
Yeah, man, that's good. It's a great question. I mean, yeah, I would say that, a lot of, as far as like young moms, there's a desire to do it really well. And sometimes that can just be very overwhelming
Yeah.
to, like, let's say I love meeting with achievers. It's so fun. And for sure, like the best. Yeah, I love it.
And when she references achievers, she's referencing the Gallup
Yes.
strengths assessment and the talent themes there, which we'll get into more here in a little bit. But
Yeah, yes. Like achievers are so fun. So, right, what comes with that is going to be like there's a way and there's a perfection to, there's a best way. And
this is how achievers feel. There's a way, there's a best way. I have to do it.
yes.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a have to, there's a figuring out what is my engine,
Yeah.
you know, and how to, what are the motivators there? So fun, but also, right, like throw that into a scenario where you have kids and they're doing what, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, very unpredictable. And then I feel like you also throw in the fact that you're being bombarded with messages on social media and from other moms about this is the way to do it. You know, like no one's saying like this could be a good way.
yes.
Everyone's trying to sell their idea. Like
Yes.
this is the way. So it's like, oh,
Okay.
yeah, then I must do that and I must do it perfectly.
Yes. Yes.
You know, but there's just a lot of that.
Yeah, there's so many, and I honestly, I can't. I have, you know, we're not like super far different in age, but like the change of culture from when I was a young mom to now, it's like if I would have had the option of Netflix just saying next episode, I'd be like, oh, nice. I better just stay seated and.
As a mom, it's the worst when this thing pops up that says, "Are you still watching?" Yes, my children are still watching. Stop judging me.
Yes, I am still. That's right. I just woke up.
Yeah.
So
Still got lots to do.
that's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So yes, I did not have the option of Netflix as a young mom. We had to, you know, put in a video and that was the end. But we had TV, we had cable, you know, so we had lots of options and channels. But anyway, the point being, like we honestly, I kind of forgot my point. So,
That's okay. Culture has just like
Culture's
rapidly
changed. Yes.
changed.
Yes, for all moms. So
Yeah.
I would say the need to do it right is a biggie.
And what do you tell people who struggle with that?
I know, right?
Help me.
It's so different for everybody. That's something that I've learned for sure. Like we got, say, anxiety. Like if it was a shirt, man, it'll look different on you. It'll look different on me. It just looks different on everybody. But
Yeah.
like I would say, it is interesting to examine like how many people am I yelling at when I yell or talk loudly with love and kindness to my kid, right? Like meaning like, wow, I just yelled at my past self, or I just yelled at my future self. I just yelled at what I'm scared that you're going to turn into. I talk about that all the time, one time I was yelling at my oldest, I was getting all up in his face. And this is a time when I just know the Lord just speaks to me through like my own whatever failures, all the time. And I'm not a great one to I'm not great at asking for help. I'm not. And I just like laid into him. I was like pointing at him and I was like, you've got to learn how to ask for help. Ugh.
Yeah.
So do I, buddy.
Yeah.
Like that is so, yeah. So that's a story. The point was, I think that, we,
Like when we're trying to achieve and do things perfectly, like there's so many other things at play.
Yes, there's just a lot of things. And yelling at, or who are we talking to? Are we, are we dealing with the behavior in our kids and teaching to the behavior? Or is it like I'm thinking about 18-year-old you, buddy.
And I'm worried about that. And so I'm yelling at. Is that kind of like the right idea?
Yes, like you're gonna end up on the couch. You've been on the couch. Oh no, in 18 years, when you're
Yeah.
18, you're gonna be on the couch.
Yeah.
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 So anyway,
I don't know where it's from. If it was from emotionally healthy spirituality,
Yeah.
or if it was like from something I heard from a mentor. But they talked about allergic reactions,
yes.
having allergic reactions to things. I feel like Andy and I have talked about that a lot. Like, I don't know, like if something from our childhood was like a big, huge, you're not supposed to do that. Then when we see it in our kids, it's like there's an over dramatic response, like this allergic reaction that's happening. Like it's not that big of a deal, but it's just
Oh, that's so good.
stuff from us that's making it a big deal.
Yes. That's so good. Yeah. So we got, so this kid represents maybe past me, adolescent, teenage me himself, and then also future him and his poor wife.
Yeah.
I'm worried about, I don't know, that's maybe maybe that's just me.
No,
But
I don't think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
Okay, that's really good.
yeah. Thanks.
Okay, I feel like there's a lot we could continue to dive into, but for the sake of time, I'm going to take a turn a little bit.
Sure.
We talked a little bit about fitness and the role that plays in like mental health.
Yeah.
And like how good it can be. I think about a lot of times when we're here at the gym, like a lot of my closest friends now are here at the gym because we spend a lot of time together through the week. And because once we get working out, like stuff starts to flow. Like, here's what's going on in my life. And we start sharing. And so that's just built like really strong friendships, I would say. Hope you guys feel the same way too.
I've been thinking.
So there's that aspect of mental health. And if you have anything to comment on that, please do.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think that's so great. Yeah.
Okay.
The goodness of connecting with your people that you're, in routine with. Like, I think routine and ritual is like, how do we learn? How do we change? How do we grow? Like, it's like these series of small things. And so like this thing that's maybe it's half an hour once a week, but right? Like keep stacking that on every week and half an hour. And then you all of a sudden know, right? Like what's going on in somebody else's life and you're walking together with it and you're,
Yeah. And that's always been like Andy and I's heart for the gym really too, is like, yes, we believe physical fitness is so important for overall health and well-being, but it was like the relationships that we've made along the way have been huge.
Love it.
And life-changing.
Yes.
And I'll be the first to admit that there's a part of me that like, sometimes I need to rest, but I have this like, I just want to run or I just want to whatever, like where are the red flags mental health wise where it's, okay, this isn't really healthy anymore. Now you've crossed a boundary where what you're saying is for your health is actually becoming more of a mental health issue.
Sure. Right.
With whether it be fitness or nutrition or whatever.
What a great
red flags.
question. Gosh, man. I mean, I think, we have say, the thing that I say sometimes in therapy is like the term on crack. And I don't want to, maybe that's whatever, a bad way to say it, but like you got compassion. Compassion's great. But wait, when compassion's on crack, right? Like that's not okay.
I thought you said uncrack. Like, okay, what are we uncracking? No, when it's on crack. Okay.
Crack.
Cocaine.
Crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Let's not stay away from that. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to minimize the struggle if that's something you're struggling with out there. But anyway, yes. Like,
okay.
So like, can we tell, right? Like if I'm working out and it's like, okay, I'm starting to notice that it's on crack, right? Like I think about even our top 5, when we talk about strengths. I have empathy is one of the strengths of the 34 strengths. And that's like something where you just feel all the time. And like, can you tell if this thing that is in my top 5 strengths is on crack? And oh my goodness, right? Like I can usually, you should be able to tell. Like if you can't, then I guess that's your friends should tell you.
Yeah.
Tell your friend. it's getting a little over the top, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that red flag is a great. I feel like on the way home I'm gonna be like, oh, I should have said this, this, and this, but oh
No.
well.
Yeah. Oh
But,
well. We'll
yeah.
come back. We'll do another one again.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, that like on crack, like when it's so much, and for me, it's like when it's so much so that it's taking away from other priorities,
Yes.
you know, or yeah. So like I think about, like, I'm not a professional athlete. Like I love to train,
Yeah.
but I'm a wife and a mother, you know?
Sure.
So like, am I giving up time that I would rather or need to be spending in other areas
Sure. Yeah.
to do this, you know? And I think that it's very tricky because sometimes people will make excuses to not
Sure.
work out because they'll be like, I need to be there for my family, you know?
Yes.
But it's like, it's your kid's birthday party.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to run.
Yes.
You like go set up for the birthday party,
Sure.
you know, or what, you know, like I feel like I've seen
Yes.
that and been tempted to do that. Like I haven't got a run in yet today, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. And
that's on crack.
there you go. I
You
mean,
know?
and it is. I think it varies.
Yeah.
I think that's part of this, you know, kind of how we're talking about it all kind of relating to each other, like having the good friendships I've had over time throughout the different seasons of life that I've had, you know, like being able to know that this friend of mine is going to say like, so you're what? You're going where and you haven't even started to you haven't planned that yet?
Yeah.
Huh, maybe dude, what's up with that, right?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
And it's good to have those, you know, markers in
Yeah.
life and people, but then also how do I know if something's going over the top? You know, I think too it has a lot to do with language. If
Yeah.
you're what kind of language are you using in your mind
Yeah.
towards
Like
yourself?
I have to, or
Yeah, like you better.
yeah.
Come on, you know,
Yeah.
are you
Or using
motivating?
shame to motivate. Yeah.
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 If you're a loser, if you don't,
Yeah.
like then because you told yourself that you are in fact a loser if you don't get out and run, then yeah, something might be a little bit
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
there. And
Yep.
yeah.
And I think that that's the, like you're saying, that's the benefit of community,
Right.
friends, coaches,
Yes.
therapists to help you navigate.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
am I, you
Yeah,
know, like
where am
I've
I?
had people say to me before, like, are you okay? You know,
Yeah.
like it seems like you're really pushing hard right now,
Yeah.
you know, and I can be like, well, I have this goal that I'm working toward.
Yeah.
And then people can rally around me
Yeah.
and support me in that goal.
Yeah.
Or if it's like, yeah, I am kind of pushing hard right now and I don't really know why. You know, like I want to do hard things. I want to be a strong person, but not at the expense of
Yes.
these other things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think too it's really like interesting how like God has put different personality types in my life throughout momhood and stuff. Like I love hanging with super administrative, just organized people. There's this one woman that was a teacher that I just loved just watching her mind work because I was like, I'm nothing like you. Like you, so like being challenged in that way too.
Yeah.
Like, never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And thanks for, you know, just you telling me about your life helps me just be challenged
Yeah.
in some ways, you know. So yeah, anyway. It's
Yeah,
good.
that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Another thing I think about with like mental health and the fitness, nutrition, you know, like there's a lot of people who will track their nutrition in order to like meet a certain goal, and it can be a very helpful tool. But then I also know people who like religiously track their nutrition for no purpose except for like that it makes them feel good to track their food. You know, like I feel like there are a lot of red flags with things like, why are you doing what you're doing? You know, like,
Yes, totally.
yeah.
I use the imagery of like seesaw a lot for some reason, but like I just think in pictures. So, but like the idea of just, you know, extreme to extreme and kind of finding your middle. Like sometimes you do have to even live in the extremes to know like, okay, this was too much couch sitting. I'm about to, you know, poke my eyes out with this whatever, you know, I can't do, that's too much. But this is, you know, my other extreme is, you know, I whatever, maybe running
Yeah.
or working out too much.
Yeah.
I've never fallen into that category. Yes. So
Yet.
I have not yet gotten there. So yeah.
You know, but that's another thing about like social media. I feel like, you know, like I see people, you know, like ultra running is a sport now, and people, I mean, it's probably always been a sport, but it's like one that like, you know, if you're going to run an ultra, you got to be running some miles every week, you know? And to some people, that's like, that's too much.
Yeah.
You know, and to other people, it's like, but that's my sport,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
so yeah, I think it probably goes back to that relationship and like community and people knowing who you are. And
Yeah. Yes. Because again, right. And I hate to say, like, sometimes it seems like, what are you even saying, Becky? Because what, you know, like, yeah, being on, saying, having compassion on crack or having empathy and noticing it's too much, you know, way too much. That's something to notice, and you have to find your middle again, right?
Yeah.
But then also, like, we have something that brings joy and like love that you love, you know, what you do with body and lifting and working out, and love that. So I say go for it.
Yeah.
You know, so it is also a like balance there of hey, it brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And
Yeah, I probably should have found some other hobbies, but unfortunately, that's the only thing I like to do. So
cool. It's cool. Yeah. Well, and I think you love to do that, but also you love to encourage. I think you and Andy are great at just building the relationship in doing the thing that you love. Like you guys are both good at that, I think. So
Thanks.
you love doing that, right?
yeah, I do love doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks.
that's cool.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about strengths, not related to the gym.
To weights.
Yeah, to weights, but related to like personal self-awareness,
Cool.
personal growth and development.
Yeah.
So Steadfast Strength is a coaching program. I'm working on revamping it a little bit. So I'm not currently taking new clients, but I am like collecting a wait list. So if you want to be on that, I'll make sure you have a way to get on that. But within Steadfast Strength, there are 3 different tiers of coaching. And the top level coaching has this personal development, strengths coaching aspect to it that isn't related to strengths coaching in the gym, but self-awareness and personal development. So this is an area that both Becky and I like. Shout out to Joe Kavanaugh.
Yes.
He coached me in this, a long time ago now, but it's something that Becky is currently working on.
I am.
So tell us about what got you into
The strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Great subject area. Love it. Joe is an older gentleman. And wise, done it for forever. Like, I don't even know how many years. And just the strengths are 34, list of 34 strengths.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the premise of it is like there's 34 talent themes, which you want to develop into strengths eventually.
Yes.
And every person people have these 34 talent themes.
Yeah.
But the way that they're organized in your personality and who you are unique to you.
Yeah. Very unique to you.
Very unique to you. And the way that they modify each other and come out is unique to you. So the order of them matters. Different ones come out in different scenarios.
Yeah.
But the whole concept, and you can add on to this, but the whole concept is that you have these 34 talent themes within you. They're organized in a specific way. You have your top 5, your top 10, and they're talent themes to start because you have to be coached or developed so that they can become strengths for you. Because a lot of us have these ways that we operate, and sometimes they aren't working to our benefit,
Right.
but we're living out of the basement of them and they're driving us a little bit crazy sometimes. Or, so like the first, sorry to like,
No,
just
you're
go on
great. You're
a
great.
rampage about this, but the first kind of way that I do coaching in this way is self-awareness. So we take the assessment, we do some other self-awareness pieces, and we're just trying to learn like who you are.
So good.
That's like the first
Yeah.
part of it. The second part of it is really trying to dig into those and figure out, okay, where do we want to grow these into strengths? Where are the basement of these talents? Where are they holding us back? And really get them like working for you. So first step, awareness. Second step, like strength development. And then in steadfast strength coaching, we look at that in the context of like your relationships and your work. And so it becomes like this bigger piece of coaching. So that's a little bit of strengths coaching and steadfast strength. But Becky and I both went through or are going through
Right.
the
I'm
same,
going through it. Yeah.
yeah, the same process, certification for this.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
that's the background on it.
So good. Yeah.
You're learning it.
Thanks for-
what got you into it. Yeah.
Yes, I think, like I love words. I think finding the right word is really great. It really hits. I remember one time, sometimes I encourage my clients to like synonym something like, what is it? What is the word, that fits best? And it's like to find, I remember I was looking for patience, but it was more than patience. And so I found the word restraint and I was like, that's it. That's the one, like I am practicing restraint right now. So anyway, as far as strengths are concerned, I really like just the vocabulary that it gives. It's such a positive way of looking at yourself. And I know for Joe Kavanaugh, who coaches, and he's coaching me right now. So I'm still in the coaching area, not certified yet, but just using the words and talking through like just what Joe says is that we are his workmanship, meaning it's from Ephesians, and we are his workmanship created for good works in Christ, and like the goodness of how the just unique individual Becky functions matters to God, and I love it. It's so fun to look at it from that point of view, look at myself from that point of view, and all the vocabulary that goes with it, where you're like, yes, that's me, like I'm so adaptive. I have adaptability's way up there too for me, and like woo is one of them, and like, so if I'm not around people, and positivity's up there, like if I'm not around people and I can't like, I don't know, connect really with people in a positive way at some point, that's not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and a lot of times that does happen in counseling where there's a lot of positive things, but sometimes that's not something that happens. So I love being able to bring that to the counseling session, and like, even teenagers the implications of talking to teenagers about who you are and how mom and dad can know this is one of your strengths, man.
Yeah.
And that's just, scratching the surface on what I think, potentially could come out of that. So I love the vocabulary. I love the specific nature of like how this fits me in this way.
Yeah.
It's super fun. So,
yeah, it's super applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I too felt like when I was first learning it, or even like when I go back and or I'm coaching someone else in it and I'm rehashing through it, I'm like, this language, like it helps me describe who I am to myself. It helps, like it opens my eyes to like, oh yeah, like I've been I'm an achiever. It's like in my top 10. It's not in my top 5, but like it's up there and it drives a lot of things for me. So, if I'm just walking to the park every day and like sometimes this doesn't sound good, but sometimes being a good mom, like in the relational category, doesn't check the box for me. Like I have to make like a to-do list. I have to get the dishwasher loaded, a load of laundry folded in order to achieve for the day. And then I just feel better. And it's like, oh, that's why I feel better, because I'm an achiever. I like to be able to actually check things off the list, you know?
Yes.
And on the other side of that, like I have belief and responsibility and some other like really hard ones for me up there that like I've learned that responsibility, while it can be a great thing, like it can cause me to take psychological ownership for things that aren't mine to carry. And it's like, oh, okay, that's why I'm driving myself crazy. Like I don't have good boundaries with some of these things, you know?
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, like I would say too, for parents and as a mom, right? For me to know my strengths are going to be different, obviously, than my kids, and like to know that oftentimes as a human, I expect what I know of myself in others sometimes, you know, and or I can have that tendency as a human, and so to know like. To do that as a family, I did it with this family with a friend
Like
of
a
mine.
family session of strengths.
Yeah. And
Cool.
so I did it, but I should say my friend Susan did it, and she's a strengths coach. And so I really watched and participated kind of, but mostly watched. Anyway, there's 3 teenagers and parents, and they all had taken the assessment and just talking through, wow, you know, like this is you, and this is how it comes out in the family. This is how you have done that strength. So
That's cool.
anyway, yeah,
That's
it's
super
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
When Andy and I were dating, engaged, we did some strengths coaching sessions together.
Oh, nice.
And that was cool. I loved it. Like getting to know like what each other need and how each other think.
Yeah.
Like it added a different dimension to
Yeah.
getting to know each other.
Yes.
So like seeing a whole family do that together.
Yeah, it was fun. I think
Yeah.
we could have done it for, you know, there's a lot of, you know, potential for more conversations there. But yeah, it was fun. And to keep something fun in that arena is cool, like self-awareness and stuff. But in the area of marriage too, right? Like
Yeah.
of just being able to, when we got my husband and I got our top 5s, I think we did like a couple dates where we just read through the sheets of paper. How nerdy, but still it was kind of fun, you know,
Yeah,
he's like, you do this, you seriously, you feel other people's feelings in that way. Like that is crazy, you know? And I'm like,
You're like, yes, that's what I've been trying to tell you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Me and my husband are like as opposite as they come. I'm telling you, my bottom strengths, which are not really strengths. So the list of 34, my bottom are his top, and vice versa. Like, yeah, it's really funny.
Opposites attract. I
That's
guess.
right. That's what Joe says too. So yeah.
I don't know. Andy and I are pretty similar in those ways.
Are
but,
they? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's both, right?
Yeah, it's
So,
both.
Yeah.
Everyone's unique.
That's
Everyone's
right.
different. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I love that you're doing that for your just the amount of good information that you're putting out there for steadfast strength. Love it.
thanks. Yeah. Strength, you know,
Yes.
in the gym, in our minds,
our
in our hearts. Gosh.
Love that.
It's
Yes.
all over.
Yes. It's so good. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything that you can think of that you haven't gotten to share that you were like, gosh, I really want to share that?
gosh, not that I can think of.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If anything comes up, we'll just do another one.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. Okay, so today, like I finally kind of talked a little bit more about Steadfast Strength and our 3-tiered coaching program. We got to hear from Becky Smith about the importance of mental health. And again, like if you're wondering, is this a problem for me? Then maybe talk to someone.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know this
Yes.
was maybe something that I remember that I was going to say earlier. Like, as far as including somebody in your life that's a therapist that that just gets to know you, you know, gets to know your personality, gets to know your mannerisms, and just your story. I love that for, say, as a mother and as a as a partner in including somebody in my life that can just speak to thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is so if you think of it kind of as a therapist that's going to just know me and that I could bounce some of this stuff off of, like, oh man, my kid is doing this weird thing and it's driving me nuts and I'm trying this, I'm trying that, and then there's this person that's outside the family that can kind of speak in and just has known you, has walked with you, has known your story. It's just another way of looking at what therapy is. I think a lot of times people think of it as like, I am so screwed. I'm so messed up or something. And
something's wrong with me.
Something's wrong with me. Oh gosh, yeah. Like it's such a not that, And so it's like including another just hopefully wise, someone I have chemistry with, right?
Yeah.
That I think is funny and that I laugh with and I'm including her or him on my journey. And I'm gonna go see what does Tammy think, man? About this decision I'm about to make or whatever. So
I've viewed it as like a structured time to do the work that I know I need to do,
Yes.
but don't always know how to do it or the right questions to ask, or I don't have the like objectivity to like evaluate it with a clear head.
Like reasonable. Love the Timothy in the Bible, right? It's like he's given us a spirit of power, love, and like sound mind, and like that whole reasonable, stay reasonable, Becky, is so good. And having somebody sometimes as a counselor can be like, hey, let me bounce this off your sound mind. How's that thinking?
Can you help me come back to like the middle a little bit?
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So mental health, strength coaching,
right?
All the stuff.
Lifting, body work.
Yeah.
All of it.
Covered it all.
Yeah.
Okay. Share the podcast if you don't mind leaving a review or a like. That does help. We'll see you next time.
Awesome.
It's a beautiful life.